Feels like the first time I made time in a minute. Rock with it, I'm in attendance. How could we pair feelings aside? I gotta match the fires to the flame. The feeling just got attached. I got the days fall, the straight fall away small. The waist started dancing on me. Had to take you back home. Time moving slow, we fast forward. Butterflies in the belly, your signs is angelic. And mine through my aesthetic, and most to try get it. Love it without limits, the message is over there. Round and round with me, the baby don't mind spinning. Word, put it working, a referral. Shorty could be my girl. Look at her so thorough, she precious like little pearls. Hair straight of them curls, beautiful cause you earned it. Making this thing worth it.
Hello, you beautiful and wondrous beings. Thank you so much for being here. I have quite a cozy little time that I am inviting you in to spend with me. The camera is pretty close to my face because the lighting issues are like the sun is coming in and out of the clouds. The light in my room flickers funny, so we got this purple crescent moon action going on. It is like my favorite nighttime lamp from the Turkish shop in Long Beach, and yeah, I really feel like this frequency is it's gonna be the vibe. Okay, so you know, just feel the purple, feel the codes. You'll see all the purple codes, also the SIRIAN codes that I've been working with, embodying, also swimming through, as this transmission is going to be a little bit different. I mean, you saw some cards already, but this ain't cacao in my cup, and it's not going to be your traditional cacao and oracle reading. It's actually going to be more of a heart-to-heart, literally, like no makeup, no plan to record a video today. Like I just got the feeling that there is a transmission that needs to come through me, and that there might be more of these type of impromptu press record to show up, because honestly, this is what I've done over the years. This is how I roll. You know, you talk about just grabbing your phone, everybody just grabbing Instagram and like recording stories a mile a minute, or, you know, just endlessly pouring in their time and their energy into these spaces that you can only go so deep. And my journey with storytelling, my journey with opening my voice really started with pressing record when I was terrified. Pressing record when I thought, who will listen? Like, who will listen? Who will watch a whole video? You know, the tears, the waterworks are already coming. The camera stopped because I didn't have any enough space on the SIM card. So you know what, let's just take a few breaths together. Let's just really slow it down, because I feel like the SIRIAN flow right now is really asking for vulnerability, yes, but for us to engage from a grounded space. So I'm gonna just ask that my root system connect to the root system of Gaia Pachamama through the sacred grid point of Los Angeles, California, USA. And I ask that you root down into your respective grid. And of course, we're connecting to the same mama. Wherever in the world you are, just know that we are held by the Ma, by the mother, by the dragons, by this planet and her grid. Her sacred grid full of dragon lines and powerful energies, transformative pockets and portals. And now that we're grounded, now that we know this is a space where things may come up, things may be reflected to you in a way that maybe you didn't expect today, by clicking on this video, because the title is Independence, Dragons, and I'm kind of bringing in this energy of a throwback to when I was recording this little series during lockdown in Peru, and it was called These Are the Times. So I'm going to create a little playlist so that if you wanted to go back to any of those themes, and if you wanted to see like, oh, what was Ariana of 2020 in Peru like? If you haven't watched those, some powerful messages were always streaming through as long as I was connected, as long as I pressed record from an authentic place. And those were always so beautifully aligned because there was no planning, there were no notes, there were no oracle cards. It was just go outside and record today. Okay, get dressed. And I would go, you know, I had a theme in mind usually, or a theme would kind of present itself in the day, and then I would press record. So the theme for today is independence, and it is actually triggered by the dragon card that I picked for myself. I did a little oracle reading for myself because I was feeling a bit low. My body's been going through some stuff has been asking to be recognized as another stage of the journey of purification, and also of just preparation. Purification and preparation are a huge part of the journey of alchemy. When you are preparing your vessel to unite with another, which is what I am doing. It may not be what everybody here is doing. Maybe you guys are already in divine union. Maybe some of you are happy and single. Maybe some of you don't even know what any of that is, but you're here. So just stay with me. Independence, carving your own path. This dragon card is basically one of the main frequencies that I will say America. Cue the I'll see if I can put the little music from West Side Story here about America. I want to be in America.
Once an immigrant, always an immigrant.
Hey, look, instead of a shampoo, she's been brainwashed.
Stop it!
She was given a Puerto Rico and now she's queer for Uncle Sam.
Oh, no. That's not true.
Puerto Rico, my heart's devotion. Let it sink back in the ocean. Always the hurricanes blowing, always the population growing, and the money owing, and the sunlight streaming, and the natives steaming. I like the island Manhattan.
I know you do.
Smoke on your pipe and put that in.
I like to be in America. Okay, by me in America. Everything free in America.
For a small fee in America.
Buying a
and credit is so nice.
One look at us and they charge twice.
I have my own washing machine.
What will you have though to keep clean?
Skyscrapers bloom in America. Cadillac zoom in America. Industry boom in America.
12 in a room in America.
Lots of new housing with more space.
Lots of doors slamming in our face.
I'll get a terrace apartment.
Better get rid of your accent.
Life can be bright in America.
If you can fight in America.
Life is alright in America.
If you're all white in America.
Such a good movie, by the way, with a lot of poignant points about what it was like to be an immigrant in America, in the US, in the United States. And this is part of the unraveling of this energy of independence for me and for a lot of you that are watching, because I know a lot of you are Americans. I know a lot of you have this connection to both the land of your birth with all of its privileges, passport privilege, the fact that people all over the freaking world learn English to be able to communicate with us. So language privilege, for the most part. A lot of us grew up with a certain sense of economic privilege as well. Educational privilege, perhaps. But again, there's a fine line with that one, because I feel like there's only so much you can learn from the intellect that will actually serve you in life. And the rest of life's most precious wisdom comes from being in the trenches, comes from experience, comes from navigating waters, navigating the Syrian stream, navigating life as a human dragon, navigating life as someone with deep soul remembrance of what is possible in other realms, what is possible in other stars and galaxies, and what is missing from Earth at this time. And so with that wisdom, with those seeds of knowing, it's like for a lot of us in our life, we have different stages of the rise and then this kind of plateau where we're like, something ain't right. And we're kind of experiencing, I'm going to show you the next dragon card that's been coming out for months. The card of rebirth, which just so happens to be the Southern Cross, the crux, the cross, the crossroads in the constellation. It's the Southern, and so in the sky, it's the Southern Cross, representing this energy of giving yourself a second chance. That's what the card says. Rebirth, giving yourself a second chance. I'm just going to say that this year has been a journey with waters, and what I actually set out to do by guiding this container called For the Waters this year, which ended up getting transferred onto my Patreon. And so it's a slow drip where when I feel called, I record a transmission and then I release it on Patreon, clearly stating that it's part of the For the Waters sequence, and you go through them one by one. and it's still not complete. There's several videos recorded, and there's a few more that want to come out before this dragon year completes. And one of the first videos was called Rebirth, Return to the Waters. I want to say I probably recorded it in January, if not maybe February latest. And it was such a powerful transmission in which, instead of blaming and shaming the mother that we came through this incarnation with, right? So the birth mother, we kind of gently allow the energetics to hand us over to our original mother, which is the planet, which is Mother Earth, which is Gaia, a dragon mother to all of us who are living on Earth. Human, plant, animal, a deva, like a spirit. But if our soul is residing on Earth right now, and our body is residing on Earth, then really this is the mother that we are rebirthing through. Many of us choosing now, I want to say, over the last, around since 2020, choosing to die many more times, choosing to, and when I say choosing, I mean allowing, I mean surrendering, I mean not fighting it, not fighting the current, because we know that there's more harm in that than the shedding, than the layers coming off, essentially. And so why is this important? Why is this important for you? Because independence isn't what it used to be. Every generation, actually, every generational, like the boomers, and then I always forget what comes after the boomers. Like, I'm talking about American kind of, then there was this, I don't know what comes after the boomers, but I think what comes after the boomers is like my parents' generation. And then after my parents, obviously, your parents, obviously, it's our generation. We're like generation X, I believe. And then after us, there's a couple more generations that are already well underway to experiencing independence wholeheartedly, independent of how we experience independence, or how we view, or how we believe independence should look like. Now, if we talk about the country as a whole, specifically the US in this instance, independence is also a whole wider topic when you're talking about a country, because this country isn't operating on its original, basically, contract or agreement when independence came for this country. When it was declared, when it was, written into law, when a lot of massive shifts and changes began to take shape, basically manifest because of this huge arrival, this decision of becoming separate from Britain, becoming separate from the crown, another entity that is all the way on the other side of an ocean. For somebody like me, many oceans, right? Because I'm on the Pacific. If we were talking about back then, they would have been literally the distance of the Atlantic. But it's interesting that the waters are being brought up here, because essentially the waters break the rules, because the waters are actually the original way, the original rule, the divine way, the divine flow that everything, again, has gotten so far away from, that humanity has gotten so far away from. For the most part, there are still people that are completely in harmony, completely in flow, completely in tune, and in service and in love, and therefore also receiving so much from the planet, because they've never lost that give and take. They've never lost that flow, that connection. I'd say let's take a breath there, and I'm gonna have a little bit of my chai. All right, so original waters. Original waters, holding the codes, holding the remembrance, holding memory for us. These are themes, these are ways in which I basically go about offering the knowledge that I have, the wisdom that I have from my Sirian self. Basically, you could call it a parallel timeline, you could call it a past timeline. It's just a place and a time and a space that my soul is activated by water wisdom and is activated by this technology, even you could say. So it's body technology, it's a mind technology, there's color and sound technologies, and I'm hearing heart technology that Sirius implanted in me so that I could activate at a certain time in my human incarnation now as Ariana del Rio. And something, again, to just be aware of is that if none of this is really making sense to you, just feel the frequency behind it. Just feel relaxed by my voice, reassured by my presence, reassured by my conviction, and just allow the body to kind of indicate to you whether you should continue watching this. Is it gonna be a frequency that you are willing to kind of dive deeper with? Is it something that you're curious to know more about? Even if right now it feels very foreign, it feels very strange. For some of us, actually, there are a lot of blockages in the realms of not acknowledging our truest grief. So this card came out for me a couple of days ago, and it's been on the altar, and I really cannot stop staring at it for many reasons. For one, there's a mask on top of this person's head, and even the mask, actually only the mask, is crying. The person themselves isn't crying, the mask is crying. There's a lot of purple and rainbow tones in the card imagery. Like, this painting is absolutely incredible. This is one of my favorite decks of all time, finally providing frequencies of activation points of support and love for this community that you are a part of with me as I share more truths and share the things that bring me joy, because I was not in a very joyful mood today. I was, and have been since this card came out, really reevaluating, like, am I actually of service, or am I a fraud? Am I just wearing mask after mask after mask because I'm not happy? And because I keep trying to project something when inside it's not okay. And basically what's coming through right now is for you as well, the answer is not seek more happiness and just shove all the non-happy things away. The answer is put the mask down and look at yourself in the mirror with the mask. And take some deep breaths. And then try to go deeper and actually feel, does this mask have a name? Does this mask have a name? Does this mask have an origin point? Like, can I feel, intuit, or just know when this mask was put on? And then from there, kind of take a moment and be like, what was happening at that time when I put that mask on. Kind of travel yourself to that moment in time, to that year, to that month, to the day, to the event. Sometimes an event stands out more than an actual date. But we know that that was when I put the mask on. I'm hearing for a lot of us, it's actually a breakup. So basically when a very powerful breakup, relationship ending happened, that's when we donned the mask that is asking to be revealed right now and seen and felt and transmuted and taken off and given to the altar of the flames for transmutation. So this being to me feels very Syrian. I can see a small little turtle here around the throat chakra area that also feels very much a part of this Syrian cycle of activation, which is well underway for us. Maybe you notice all the purple energy. Again, the purple lamp. The Syrians are inviting the throat to really link up with the crown, to really link up with the higher mind, which would be this space, but it wouldn't necessarily be blue. It wouldn't necessarily be indigo. It would actually be more of a purple tone, more of a purple crystal even. So in other realms, the chakra system is not the same as we experience it here. And even here, there are, you know, discrepancies between, do we have 7, do we have 9, do we have 13, do we have 33, do we have and it keeps going and going. I've even heard 144. So just to bring it back to something tangible, like purple energy is a relaxing, watery kind of flow energy. It can be like a river or a waterfall if you want it to be, but it can also be a wave. It could also be like the ocean is just crashing down through your crown in this reality, in the year of the dragon, in year 2024, and you are wondering, like, will I survive another one and another one and another wave of energy that is coming in? And you may feel like, I haven't even integrated the freaking last wave. I didn't even integrate the eclipses. I didn't even integrate 2020. And I'm here to be the mirror for you, that those fears or those kind of doubts come up to be looked at. But if you're here, you have. And if you're on my stream, you have. And if you need a reflection that you are so much more on time than you can ever imagine, then let me be that for you. Because that's been my freaking, like, biggest challenge, is just fighting the clock. Fighting the clock, fighting the clock, fighting the clock, feeling like I'm not enough because I haven't done enough in the time that I've had. And that I'm not where I need to be, and I'm not who I need to be yet. And even that is just such a lie. It's just such a destructive and detrimental way to engage with your timeline and your energy and your being, because we're so much more than a fucking timeline. Sorry for my... I just feel extra British today, and I feel like they cuss, and I feel like I'm gonna have some more tea. Maybe I should say fucking instead of fucking. Get more of that accent going. I'm really terrible at accents, but hey. The grief is real, right? But we're right on time. So I bring your attention to this card. The angelic frequency of this, like, so lilac purple. This soft and this, oh, like you just want to wear this veil or this robe or this throw. I'm also feeling again like this Inca, oh, this is interesting, like this alpaca, Inca, lilac colored throw, and you just want to be warm and cozy through the rest of autumn and winter if you happen to be watching this when I upload it. If you're watching it much later on, you know, just take it for what it is. Like, Peru is really coming in as this marker of time from 4 years ago. So wherever you were in 2020, because that's where I spent all of lockdown. That's where I spent one of the most challenging years on a planetary scale for humanity, 2020, of our time. You know, you could say like, well, what about the year of like World War this or World War that, or when they dropped the bombs, you know, the A-bomb? And it's for us, for our generation, when we're alive. 2020 was our never going back marker, year, moment in time, space, continuum. And you just have to feel that lilac frequency, feel that warmth, feel that light. She's staring at a golden chalice. The chalice has its own aura around it. And this imagery is taking place in a sacred church in Scotland called Rosalind's Chapel. And this is the angel of Rosalind. And it says, behold the mystery. And I love how the lighting has changed now. The sun is literally coming through as I'm bringing forth this energy of like, so if we've been in the grief, if we've been in the mask, if we've been in the self, you know, harm talk to ourself, to our spirit, to our soul, now is the time to focus on angelic frequencies from Sirius. Rosalind's Chapel in Scotland might be important to you. A Scotland road trip might be important to you in the future. We also have this beautiful dragon with the stone circle here called Spirit, also in all of these purple tones. You know, so this isn't a coincidence. I've been working a lot with the energies of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Throw Wales in there as well, as I've been working on my ancestral lineage healing, also my timeline healing, because after Peru, I moved to England for over a year. And I have a lot of grief from the timeline that I stepped into there. And feeling like I could have done so much more, but instead I got entangled with this situation, and I allowed myself to get entangled without really knowing like where that timeline would lead. And I will say part of me was naive, part of me wanted to see the good in people, and part of me also wanted the fast track to transmutation. And so a lot of us like to experience deep, passionate, painful, chaotic frequencies to then rise out of that like the phoenix, like a fucking dragon, you know? So essentially that's what I'm saying. Perhaps if you've been wondering, remember, this is called rebirth, giving yourself a second chance. If you've been wondering, why do I deserve a second chance? Like, I fucked up. I did some things. I ignored the voices inside of me that were pointing to X, Y, or Z. And I went for, you know, Q over there. So I don't know if I deserve goodness. I don't know if I deserve happiness. I don't know if I deserve the fucking life of my dreams anymore, because I said yes to something that was more tempting, albeit temporary. And I'm just here to tell you, destiny. Destiny. It was destined. What people don't realize is that we often have such strength, such dragon level strength, that we will choose the harder timeline. that we will choose the harder timeline and therefore the harder integration period, the harder come down or come out or break through of that situation. But it's so rewarding when you get there. And again, it might happen in these stages. It might not be instantaneous, because what I'm seeing is that I'm grieving right now aspects of that life in England, that breakup, which was 2-3 years before that. So we're talking about 2018, 2021, 2022, grieving that. Grieving the death of my father last year, 2023. So it's like there's layers of breakthrough happening. They're happening in stages. If you can come out of one and be joyful and creative and quote unquote, better or on track again for a time, pat yourself on the back for that, because we're just way too hard on ourselves. We're just way too hard on ourselves. A lot of people will just never do this work. A lot of people will just never reevaluate, never think about rebirth, never think about all the steps and all of the cycles that needed to complete in order for you or I to be where we are now. But you've bravely done so much, beloved. And so I have 2 more dragons and 1 more Magdalene card to share for this transmission. The dragon of inspiration and the dragon of confidence. So this has everything to do with you've made it through. You've made it through. Let the last tears fall. Stare at yourself in the mirror. Ask what mask you're wearing. Ask what timeline that was, what event that was where you put the mask on. Then throw the mask in the flames of transmutation. And remember, fire begets creativity. Fire is the energy of change, movement, burning, passion. So this is the cycle that you're about to move into. This is the cycle that we are moving into. Even the tears will be tears of like, I get it. I get life. I get the stages. I understand the tears, the regret. I understand. I understand. I can sit in contentment now that nothing was, my fault, right? Or really that nothing was anybody's fault. It was just destiny. It was just the timeline. So you start to forgive time. You start to forgive time. Imagine. So we're personifying time. So it loses some of its, like hold over us, because it's almost like, oh, now we're equals. Like I'm Ariana and that's time, right? Like, hey, how you doing? Not, I am Ariana underneath this hardcore like cloud or these chains of time, and I'm just chained. I'm just stuck, or I'm just looping, or I'm just, I don't even know, going through life, right? Getting older. And that's something that I remind myself all the time. I actually was watching an old YouTube video of mine last night because I'm going to record an updated video about my ancestry results and that journey with following the call of the ancestors. And I'm going to use clips from that old video, but basically I was looking at myself. It was from 2019, 5 years ago, November. So we're a couple days away from November. It was almost exactly 5 years ago. And I was looking at myself. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty young in the face. I still feel shy. I still feel like certain energy that I can read from that, you know, recording, that moment in time, and then also feel like, okay, so because we're getting older, we're supposed to be down on ourselves when actually we're getting wiser, we're getting braver, right? And we're not stopping. We're not giving up on the dream. You understand, right? We are not giving up on the dream. If there is a takeaway from this video, that is it. Build your confidence. Sit with some shadows. We're coming up to the Samhain portal actually in a couple of days. Samhain, All Saints Day, Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, or All Souls Day are all happening in the next couple of days. So this could be a beautiful portal for you to sit with the masks, sit with the grief, sit with the shit, but not stay in it. Remember what you're traveling through and to. And that's to creation. That's to being infinitely inspired. The dragon of inspiration is with you. That means the dragons are going to be waking you up in the night. That means the dragons are going to be stirring in your chakras saying, now let's do this. Now let's go here. Now let's talk to that person. Now let's offer this. Right? And it isn't going to be so much like crying in bed watching Call the Midwife. Confession. I've been watching old episodes. And I just like, oh, yeah. Anywho, it's a whole nother story. But the Magdalene card to close us out is called Simple Gifts Appreciation. And so here's where I invite you to connect with your Sirian intuition, your Sirian stream of knowing which plants, which herbs, which teas want to connect with you in this next cycle. Maybe a plant of grief, maybe an essential oil of transmutation. I'm hearing vetiver for some of you. It's a really beautiful root. It's super powerful. Mine comes from Madagascar, and I think that's pretty cool. Neroli is actually an essential oil for grief. I have so much in here, and I could just go on and on and on, and you know, I'm sure something would land with almost all of you. But what I'm gonna do instead is let you feel in to your own intuition. Maybe come back for the next video. Maybe it'll be more of like an energetic session. For now, this is like the cacao and oracle, but instead it was like a let's tune in. These are the times. It's time to get independent. How do we get independent? We reevaluate where we're at. We accept that we are in a rebirthing process. We remember our power. We are dragons. We are divine humans. We are angelics. We are Sirians. Part Sirians, full Sirians, whatever feels right for you. And we work with the purple light. And we beam the purple light. And we put on the lilac alpaca sweater. And we sit on top of our mountain. And we meditate. And we remember. And so I'm going to actually offer on the next one a little guided meditation with one of the apus that is pretty special to me. There's a couple that I can feel into. So I'll feel into which one wants to partake in this exchange, and we'll put on our energetic lilac alpaca throw, and we will go deep. I love you all. Thank you for being here. If you liked this style of video without the cacao, but with, you know, with me, do let me know. There's always ways where you can work with me privately. I include all of this in the description. There are also ways that you can join easily the community straight into the dragon stream, the dragon community on Patreon. By becoming a paying member, you get access to all these videos, posts, recordings, audios, from the grid, updates, activations, as well as live ceremonies that are held like every other month. I have been holding them monthly, but I need more time for integration, and so does the group. So we're going to be doing this like 1 month teaching, 1 month gathering, live ceremony, to just give everybody a little bit more space. We're closing out the dragon year, but don't even think for a second that I don't have some amazing things planned for like December, January, because that's like high holy time of the year for the Christ stream. I'll explain more about that soon, but all my love, and I will connect with you soon.